Good morning, everyone. It's Johnny Penn, and as you can see, I've dressed up today. And this is all in honor of starting my new video blog, A Writer's Life. And basically, it's me talking about writing, things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and about my stuff. I know it's kind of egotistical and narcissistic, but I figure if Murray Lafferty can do it, then so can I. I listen to Murray Lafferty's podcast, You Should Be Writing, sometimes, but mostly I listen to Writing Excuses, which have several big-time writers, like the guy who does Schlock Mercenary, which is an online comic. I read some of it. It's really cool. The guy, Dan Wills, who ghostwrites some of the Wheel of Time series, and the other guy who did the I'm Not a Serial Killer series. He does other things too. Also, the lady who did a book called Shades of Milk and Honey, which is like Jane Austen with magic. So anyway, those are the two main writing podcasts I listen to, and so I just decided to make a video blog because I love writing and I've gotten into photography, mostly for cosplay. And so I was like, well, let's see if I can do this. Okay, so this is technically the introduction plus things that a writer should have. And the disclaimer I need to say is, like, this is just what I feel about it. If people feel differently or if it doesn't work for them, that's fine. Writing isn't about rules. Basically, writing is about breaking those rules and finding out new things you can do with it. So, like, what I say is like, not rules. They're just what I feel about it. So if you don't like this aspect of what I do, or something just so happens to work for you, then that is so cool. Because writing is about... Levi, leave it! Sorry, my dog. My dad's dog. Go lay down. Go. Go lay down! Good boy. Good boy. Okay. Sorry, dog. Okay. Good boy. So yeah. So basically, now we're going to start the what a writer needs. And no, that isn't a crazy ass hairdo, or a really bohemian scarf, or big earrings if you're a girl, or boy, whatever. The first thing a writer needs is confidence, because writing is about putting yourself out there, and some people are going to hate what you do. And I guess the number one way to avoid trolls that hate your writing is not to read reviews, even though everybody asks for a review. It's so silly. It's like, oh, review this, read a review, and you're like, I don't like your story, and that's not the review you want. Like, this is really prevalent on fanfiction.net, okay? It was like, you have these kids who write a bunch of crap, and I swear to God, it's just crap. And yes, I'll admit, I was one of those kids, but you know what? This was back in high school when the internet had just become a really big thing, and I didn't have access to a computer, so most of my earlier stuff did not get onto the internet. So yeah, so like, these kids think their stuff is brilliant, and it's not. And here I am, I just want to read a really good fan fiction, and I come across something that's complete crap, and I just hit the back button, because it's like, dude, you don't want to know what I want to say, because what I want to say is, go back to the writing board and redo this. Like, that's what I want to tell Stephanie Myers. Myers, I am sorry, but your book sucks. Someone should have told you to go back and edit the damn thing. Please excuse the language. I hate Twilight. And don't get me started on 50 Shades of Grey. That 50 Shades of crap is what that is. And I'll get into that, like, later on, because BDSM and erotic sex is like a thing on their own. So, okay, the first thing the writer needs is confidence, because you need the confidence to put your stuff out there on the internet for everybody to read. And of course, if you're on LiveJournal, you can, like, just make your journal a friends thing, which I did, but it was mostly because of trolls and not understanding. I mean, they would quote me and take shit out of context, and that wasn't what I was saying. And if they just read the entire thing, they don't understand what I was saying, you know. So Okay, I guess that isn't any different than from the media, because I guess they do that. I don't take the media at their word. I usually go look stuff up on my own. Okay, so confidence is one thing. Talent. Rather this is something you have worked at for a long time, or you are born with it, or in most cases you've got like a duality of talent and born talent at writing. You have to do that. You have to have you have to be good at writing. If you're not good at writing, you shouldn't write. I'm sorry. I know that's really horrible to say, but that's just my feeling. Like, with Tolkien, if he'd understand more about writing, it wouldn't be so wordy, and you wouldn't have pages and pages and pages of description. That's the word, description. It's like, dude, okay, we know it's a forest. We don't need to know anything else unless this thing is, like, friggin' special. You know? I was like, nah, enough with that. I know about elves. Go on. I don't care about, and you know. So, okay, I'm just a really different Tolkien fan. I'm not saying that he's a bad writer. I'm just saying that a less wordy-ish version of Lord of the Rings is, like, would be fine by me. Yeah, okay, sorry. Wacky hairdo. Inspired by Gazette and their song, Invisible Walls. I was like, I wouldn't do that. And, let's see. The other thing a writer needs to do is read. Read a lot. And read books you wouldn't normally read. Like, I read a lot of classic books. I can't stand Jane Austen. I cannot get past the first page of freaking Pride and Prejudice. But, okay, that's not the point. The point is, okay, if you hate a book, like, completely hate it, don't read it. But, like, instead of, like, when I decided to broaden my horizons, I decided to read Hunter S. Thompson instead of Jane Eyre, because I hate Jane Eyre. I can't read her. Because she just writes the same friggin' story over and over and over again. We'll get to that later. Okay, so Hunter S. Thompson is, like, my favorite book. Okay, I started out with The Rum Diary, and that one was kind of boring. And then I went on and I read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. And that was mostly because I was really, I'm a really big Johnny Depp fan. I have a ton of movies of Johnny Depp. And Fear and Loathing was one of those ones that I saved to watch until after I read the book. So I read the book, and the book is brilliant. And the movie gets the book so much. Like, I have nothing to complain about that the movie doesn't do that the book does, or whatever, because the movie is the book. It's like, and I'm mostly never satisfied with movies that are based off books because they leave a whole bunch of stuff out. Okay, with Harry Potter 7, seeing as how Deathly Hallows was just a big, long story about the camping trip that never ended, yeah, you need to cut some of that out of the movie because camping is boring. Oh, I also hate camping, except reading it. I'm okay reading camping, but I can't do camping. Okay, never mind. So, when I broadened my horizons, I decided to pick up Hunter S. Thompson, and his description is brilliant. His characters, like, okay, Raoul Duke may be, like, an avatar for him or something. I don't care, because I don't know Hunter S. Thompson as a person, so I don't know if that's really what he is, if Raoul Duke is Hunter S. Thompson in the book. I guess some people think it is. I don't care. I don't care. Raoul Duke to me is just a character. And it's just, and yes, okay, the subject is questionable because of drugs. It's just two guys on, like, a drug binge on a road trip. And, like, we have a ton of road trip movies. And they go to Las Vegas, and they get in, and they do a bunch of stuff, and they get in trouble, and, you know, stuff happens. So it's like, it's really interesting because it's not about, on one hand it is about the drugs, on another hand it's not. But anyway, this is a really good book, and I love that book, and oh my gosh, I remember Mom had to go to the doctor and went with her, and I brought this book. I was like halfway through it, and I was just reading it, and across the way there's this old lady, and she was giving me the evil eye. I was like, I can't believe you even know what this book is, because how many people read this book? You know, or how many people would admit to liking this book? I mean, this book is like the like if someone asked me to ask me what would be America's novel, like the novel that was America, I say Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Mostly because it's about humanity and they're like messing up. Humanity and messing up, and people mess up, and but yeah. So that would be the great American novel to me. And I don't usually read American novelists because boring. I read classic. I read Robert Louis Stevenson, Charlotte Bronte, Horatio Hornblower, what is it, C.S. Forster? Oh. So I read more British authors as opposed to American authors, unless you count Star Wars. Okay, so yeah, I'm a bit of a geek. Never mind. Okay, so and that's the thing you have to have. You have to have confidence. You have to read, and read books you wouldn't normally read unless you absolutely hate them. Another thing a writer needs is it's basically the two things I could come up with right now. I mean, unless you actually want to do the crazy ass hairdo, the glasses, and a really cool scarf. Yeah, so yeah. God, I really hope, I pray to God that this doesn't bomb, because I really want this to be awesome, and I guess it's not being awesome, mostly because I don't have a script. Maybe for my other ones I wrote a script, I don't know. But, I mean, yeah. Dog's laying down. Okay, so I'm going to go and post this, and look forward to the next episode, and if you have something that you want me to, like, talk about, just go ahead and post it in the little posty box thingy there at the end. You know what it is, I don't. And, so I'm Johnny Penn. This is the introduction to A Writer's Life, a new video blog, so stay tuned.